Normally, we start off this pod with me asking I can't say it.
Facetious?
Yeah, this is the second time we're recording this bit because I didn't press I pressed the wrong button and I still can't say the bloody word. Yeah, so I normally start off with saying that word question and aim it at Perchy, but I'm too tired. So Perchy was about to tell us about the football and why he's so happy.
Oh, listen, look at the way we're playing. It's an absolute joy to watch. I mean, it's the first time I genuinely have been excited to watch us play, and it's the first time I've got off my, like when a game's finished, you've won a good big game of football, and you go, I just can't wait for it to happen again. I haven't felt like this for years, and I'm just sitting back going, do you know what? Life's good, football's good, happy Perch.
Right, and there was a long pause there. This is such great production value, Ross. You, tell us about how you feel right now, mate.
Oh, it was so good. It was just, it was like we'd been in a straitjacket for 4 years, and I include the fat Chelsea manager's last 18 months. And it just felt like we could breathe again. And it was watching our little our fullbacks go into midfield and upset Gary Neville. It was great. It was just, and look, and seeing people like Ben Davies score, it's just,
Was it given to him in the end, by the way?
No, it probably won't be.
No.
It's an own goal.
All right, so if yeah, go on.
Look where he ended up.
Yeah, I know.
2 fullbacks in 2 weeks scoring goals. And, I mean, it's... Listen, do you know what I want to do? I know that the running order, and so for those of you who don't know what a running order is, it's basically a to-do list on what we're going to discuss during a podcast, right? And we've got point 1, Saturday's game against United. Now, the thing is, I don't know about you lot, but I try to listen to a lot of podcasts. So I listen to The Fighting Cock, I listen to Spookies, Filthy Shambles, and the other ones that he has. Last Word on Spurs. There are in my playlist, I have about 11 Spurs pods, and because we're recording on Tuesday, chances are you would have heard everything we're about to say. So I want to do something slightly different. I mean, we could, if you want, guys, talk about the game for the next 2 minutes, and if there's anything you want to get off your chest, go ahead. But then I want to basically become a mini philosopher and talk about what it means to have a change like this and what it means for Daniel Levy and the board, as opposed to a lot of the fans, including probably all of us who wouldn't mind him leaving. So I think let's talk about the game just for a minute or two. Any highlights that you guys thought, wow, that was amazing?
Go on, Perch.
I'll go on and I'll go. What I love, Pape Matar. First of all, wow, what a player. Yves Bissouma, Destiny Adoji. I can list of several players that I'm just thoroughly excited to watch this season. And the manager. I think the manager for me is so important at this football club. Everything that we wanted as a manager is there. Straight to the point, says it how it is. No more cryptic messages. And I'm just, as I said at the start, I'm just excited. What I loved about it, that second half, yeah, let's be honest, we put the next slight negative. We probably we should deserve to be behind in the first half. I thought they had such good chance in that first half, but we stuck it out. They missed their chances. And we grew in the game. In the second half, some of the best football I've seen Tottenham play for a decade. Even better than some of the stuff we did under Pochettino. Honestly, I thought we were outstanding that second half.
Big shout, mate. Ross, What about you, mate?
Well, after the kicking he got from various points of Twitterverse, Vicario was immense. I mean, that guy really showed what he could be capable of. And I didn't realise how tall he was until the game as well. But no, if he carries on that sort of trajectory, we've got a real good replacement for Lloris, and I mean very good replacement. He'll be in competition with Gigi Donnarumma for a few years for the Italian number 1, obviously. But that guy could become something. If he carries on how he's been playing, then that's very good. Even his footwork was a little bit better this week. So you can see they're bedding into each other, and a full 90 minutes of Romero makes a whole difference as well. Which is another thing that we didn't have last week. I mean, Sanchez played really well, but I mean, even Højbjerg came on for 10 minutes and did all right. It was just like everything. Ange Touch turned to Aussie gold.
It did, and so I think that's the match report done. And so
Yes.
I want to talk about a few things. So the first thing that I want to talk about is what I've realised, and at the age of 44, maybe I should have realised this a lot earlier, is that a life of a football supporter literally spans 90 minutes, or according to these new rules, 114 minutes now. And if you think about it, right, it's not just the fans that were on board. And I've got a lot of friends who were there. I was supposed to be there. You know, if you heard last week, I couldn't get a ticket. And the fans were on board. The media is on board. But more importantly, the players are on board. And I have I'm not a football manager, but I manage people. And I have never seen a manager, doesn't matter what profession they're in, turn around the fortunes of a team, his team, as fast as this man has in two major events. Now, you can say that he's been there since the 1st of July. What is it now? It's the 22nd of August. So that's, how many weeks is that? Is that 7 weeks? It is, right?
Yeah, around about 7 weeks.
Yeah, about 7 weeks. And that's testament to the man. Now, I was so much in favour of him joining. And it's not just because he's Greek, right? It's not that. I mean, to all intents and purposes, I am English, born and raised there, but I've got Greek blood. But it's not that. It's because one of my major clients, he's Australian and Italian. And when we were linked, he just sent me a message and he says, when you get him, you've got one of the best. That's all he said to me. Mm. And so I then thought, what's he talking about? And so I did some research. Then I was on Spooky's pod, and I told Spooky that I basically completed my postacoglu PhD, because I think I had downloaded every podcast and watched everything about the guy, even read his book. And I realised quickly that things would be a lot better, but I had no idea that it would be this fast. And I think that is testament to him. It's testament to even Daniel Levy, the people that hired him. We actually don't know who hired him. We don't know if it was Munn or if it was Daniel Levy, but whoever it was, well done. And what I don't like, and it's the last thing I'm going to say, then I'll pass it over to you guys. I can't stand it, and I've like a lot of podcasts have said this, and I said it as well. I think Perchy said it was before you came on board, that, you know, we're going to get our trouncings and we're going to lose 3-0 and that's going to be okay. No, it's not okay, and because it's not okay for the man. For Ange Postecoglou, it's not okay for him. And if it's not okay for him, trust me, he's instilled that in his players. It's not okay for them. So I think we need to lose that trope that we're bound to get a hammering. Because when was the last time that we got a clean sheet and played so well against Manchester United? Even when we won 6-1, we still conceded a goal. And so I just think that we're evolving and developing as a club, game by game, and onwards and upwards. And there's a lot more I want to say, but I want to pass it over to you guys and then I'll come back. So what do you guys think? Whoever wants to go first.
I think a lot of it...
Go on, Ross.
Sorry, cheers. At the minute, I think we're getting a rubber band effect where we've been held back so much, and you can see it in the players. I mean, even playing a flat back four, not a flat back four, I'm going back to early 90s here, even playing a back four felt refreshing after the turgidness of that three at the back he plays. But at the minute, we're just riding the crest of a wave, which is great and may long it continue, but we also have to take away the fear of failure, because it might go wrong. It might, but it doesn't matter. We're going in the right direction at least. It's all, and that's what matters. We've got a coach that isn't here just to boost his own CV. We've got a coach here that is wanting to, who really does like, looks like he loves the club. Because the way he stood in the middle of the pitch, I don't know if any of you two saw it, he looked around and he had that kind of fat Chelsea manager look in his eye as well. Because I refused to mention his name. And it was quite endearing, it was lovely. And it was just like, oh, he really does want to be here. So, as I said, I think I take your point on board, James, about, we shouldn't like losing. No, of course we shouldn't like losing. No one should. But it might happen. But take the fear of failure away, because, as I said, I think we're going in the right direction.
Yeah, I mean, just to clarify what I was talking about, we are going to lose a game. I mean, that's going to happen. Well, I mean, it would be great if it didn't. But I believe that we're going to lose maybe, I would say, not more than 7 games this season. The point is that I'm sort of getting a bit frustrated and tired of people saying, oh, it's coming. It's coming. No, let's stop thinking like that. Because I don't think this man is thinking like that. And he doesn't let his players think like that. And that's my point. Do you know what I mean? It's not, I don't think he might even do it where he says, you know what, have you listened to what people are saying? Our Spurs fans, our supporters are saying, we're bound to get hammered. Are we? Well, look, Sam, are we going to get hammered? Are you going to allow that to happen? Absolutely not. And that's why I was, it was like when people were saying as well that the Irish Tifo guy, when he said that, we're going to be fun to watch. Fuck off. It's a bit, for me, it's patronising. We're a huge club, and we have a manager, who hasn't been in the big leagues, but he's a winner. And so this is where we all have to then push on and not think negatively at all. That was my point.
Yeah.
Perchy, what do you think, mate?
No, I think I'll stand by my sort of standpoint on that. I think I get your point. I totally agree with it, actually. I agree with the sentiment of everything you just said there. For me, though, I just think, I think the one thing is even if we do lose games of football this season, I trust the manager to get it right if we do lose things. Everything he says, I believe. It's the first time I've genuinely believed everything a manager at this football club has said. Genuinely, like, in every press conference, every interview, I trust this man will get it right at this football club.
How long have you been following Spurs, mate? Just out of interest.
Oh,
I should know this. I should have asked you. How many years?
What are we now? What am I saying? 23 was.
Are you just 23 years old? Are you a baby?
No, I'm saying he's 23.
Oh, right, okay.
I'm working backwards. I'm 31.
Oh, right, okay. There you go. Right, so I can be your brother.
31, man.
Right, you're old.
No, I mean, I'm just trying to work back because.
31. That would have put you at what? If you remember, then maybe like 90. You would have remembered Jerry Francis, right?
Nah, a little bit after that.
That's too.
What? Early. Christian Gross. What? Even after Christian
Hoddle? It was a sort of. Do you know what? It was a sort of Jacques Santini, and then it became.
So 2004. So 2004.
Martin Yole kind of it. Martin Yole kind of it.
Well, you couldn't believe Jacques Santini because no one ever heard him talk, or even if they did, unless you're French, you wouldn't understand what he was saying.
It would have been the manager. It's the manager just before him.
So it's Hoddle.
And then that was that.
It was Pleat actually. It was Pleat.
David Pleat would have been my first manager then that I watched. Maybe was it before that? Was that Glenn Hoddle before?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was that Glenn Hoddle, David Pleat era. I think. Yeah.
It's so lucky to have Mitchell's Graham. And the 90s. You know how lucky you are. Me and Ross had to sit through that as teenagers with like testosterone flying around, and we had to sit through that shit of the 90s.
Trying to chat up girls going, in our midfield we have Steve Sedgley and David Howes.
Oh no, come on, Steve Sedgley and David Howes, really good players. I know them both actually, so I can say that. So they're actually like David Howes is a warrior.
It's hard to big up when you got Stuart Nethercott at the back.
Oh yeah, he's garbage toilet.
But that was my era of like sort of football. But like my point being is sort of back to sort of the question though was that I genuinely think, and I'd like to know your thoughts, both of you, because I sit back and go, everything he says I believe. He says there's none of this bullshit with him. There's none of this smoke and mirrors style cryptic messages anymore. It's when he was interviewed, I mentioned it just on my show I just did earlier, and I mentioned on my show, I said the interview he did earlier, he did, I can't remember if it was the end of the game against Man United, and they said, at half-time, he said, so what happened, like, Man United have the better chances. He said, yeah, no, the players were nervous. You've got to remember, we've got lads like 20 in Doji, Sar's only 20, he said, no, who did he say? Van der Ven's only 22. Kulusevski's 23. Porro's 23. These are young lads. And, yeah, they came out nervous, but... and he said, what did you say at half-time? But he said, I didn't have to say much. I gave them the belief that they can do it. And they came out in the second half, and they proved to me that they can do it. And do you know what? I love that. Because that's proper man management. He said, I don't need to sit there and berate them for whatever, and I don't need to tell them what to do. They know what to do. Yeah, they're a little bit nervous, but arm around the shoulder, go out there and do it in the second half. And as I said, that second half was some of the best football I've seen in a very, very long time.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things... Who's the Sky Sports presenter? Is it David Jones?
Yes.
So, did any of you catch that when they interviewed him on the pitch? Did you see what happened?
Before or after the game?
After the game. Did you see what happened? Because no one's really talking about this, and I'm shocked. Like, I haven't heard a podcast talk about this. So,
go on.
David Jones was being a bit facetious, if I said it right. And
there you go, got it right.
And he said to him, you know, with all the upheavals happening, do you believe that you're the person who makes these decisions? And he just stopped and looked at him and he goes, mate, like, I make the decisions. And he cut him dead.
Yeah.
That was so funny. And it was like at the end of the interview when he left, that you heard David Jones say, "Oh, I've got my first mate," because they, you know, all the journos, they know. Yeah. They know that if he says mate to you, it's Ali Golder said this as well. If he says mate to you, then it's like it's not a good sign. And it's true with my Australian client as well, Lewis. If you're listening, love you. It's the same. Like when he says mate like that, it's you're in trouble. You know. So yeah, I just think that he has done things that I didn't think possible. We were told by two apparently world-class managers, not maybe in words but in actions, that they had to play a back three or a extremely low and minus block because our defence was so useless. That's what we were told. As I said, either in actions or in words. I don't know. I mean, this guy seems to have got it right. You can say, yeah, but he doesn't have the same defenders. But I've got a feeling that if you gave him the same defenders, he'd probably do a similar job. What were you going to say, mate?
Maybe. Yeah. He also said about the transfers as well, didn't he? He said, no transfer won't be finalised without my say-so.
Yeah.
And I mean, the amount of times that everyone's gone, it's Levy that does it. You just get the feeling that Ange would just kick his door down and go, why the bleep have you signed this bleep? And it's just... I like that, and it's so refreshing to hear after, as a lot of people have said, there's been so much cloak and dagger since Mourinho, and as I said, late fat Chelsea manager. It's so much, well, I don't know, and it's just so nice to hear proper answers. I think even Ali Golder said that on his YouTube videos, that he really does answer all the journalist questions properly. He gives you a straight down the eye answer.
Yeah, and it's look. I mean, there's so much I wanna say about this, and I think maybe we'll save it until we're a good few games in. But I know that he doesn't take any bullshit. We've seen it with Ndombele. We've seen it with. I mean, Spurs fans, including me, we did like crowdsourcing to try and get Jed Spence to play. Right? I mean, he doesn't fancy him, so he's seen something he doesn't like in him. Definitely with Ndombele. I mean. My grandma, who's been dead, I think, 17 years now, would have seen the same thing that everyone else has seen. In Ndombele, that was obvious. But there's other players that he said, you know, you go out and play and let's see. And he's given them a chance. And the ones who are doing well, he's included. But as he said as well, and as you said, I believe what he says when he says that he just wanted to see what Sarr and what Porro could do. There isn't any cryptic stuff in there like I'm going to play them because Daniel Levy isn't giving me the funds. That's not happening. You know, so I'm so happy with all of it. And the philosophical side of what I wanted to get to, by the way, I've been speaking a lot, so feel free to jump in, but I just want to say this bit. So when it comes to the philosophical side, when you think about what happened, and if you take a look back, because I've had a chat with a few of my Spurs mates on WhatsApp, and we've been talking about this, where how comes the atmosphere, and I'm not talking about the in-game atmosphere, I'm talking about people on the way to the lane. I've never seen so many people take pictures of themselves in trains and cars and buses and taxis and bicycles when they're on their way to the ground and saying, and then when they reach it, I'm home. After the season we've had, I didn't expect that. And then comes the football, and the jubilation goes up to 11. And then after the game, you've got songs like Postecoglou songs on repeat. I'm sure you've all seen them on Twitter.
Yep.
Yeah.
And all of this is outstanding. Then we look at, I mean, if we could just go back a bit and we look at the game itself, where the players, and this is my word of the week, they believed. And belief is such an incredible word, because when you believe in something and when you have that belief, you can run through brick walls. And we saw that in the second half. You know, Man U, yeah, they had the first 30 minutes. But then after that, look at what we did. We bullied them off the park. I don't want anyone saying we didn't. We did. In the second half, did they, other than a few little half chances, did they have any? Right, they, two or three clear. The
Anthony chance off the post was their main chance in the second half.
Thank God that didn't go in.
That
That was straight after the goal, right?
Yeah, Vicario made a great save, but it was offside, but it was still a great save.
Yeah.
So I'm really looking forward on what's to come. And we're going to talk about Bournemouth next, but I don't have any fears anymore, and I don't feel like drained anymore. You know, we had a mastermind, and I was about to say Italian, yeah, doesn't matter where he's from, but an Italian mastermind who told us that Bissouma didn't yet understand the tactics and the strategies and the way that Conte wanted to play his football, the way that Tottenham wanted to play his football. That man should be brought before The Hague for war crimes against Tottenham Hotspur for what he did, because we saw the Bissouma of the Brighton days. I mean, to be fair, I saw him in 3 games. I saw him against us, and I saw him in the game where they beat Arsenal. And in that game, he was outstanding. So it was on that game that I was basing my enthusiasm when we signed him. But the Bissouma I'm seeing now is better than that one. I don't know what you guys think.
I'd love to know what tactics he didn't understand by Conte. I mean, what does... it is dumbfoundment that he looked at this player and went, no, he just doesn't get it. Get what? I don't know. I think Conte made a rod for his own back, personally.
But he probably didn't get it. He probably just didn't want to be sitting as a centre back and just sitting there and going, I've got to defend for 90 minutes and go, oh, this is awful. I don't care. I'll say it. I thought Conte was crap. I thought he was awful at this football club. He did absolutely nothing of note at this football club.
No, he did, mate. He took us back. He took us backwards. That's what he did.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing he did was took us back. And look, and I put a post up on my community page on YouTube, and it was a simple one that just read, all the people that loved Antonio Conte, all of those people that loved him, like, look at how we're playing. Look at that. And I said, this is a man that didn't find a way for Bissouma and Sarr in a system. He allowed Bissouma to sit on a bench. He allowed Pape Matar to barely play. And even when he did play, then went, and he, after having a very good game against AC Milan, went, oh, no, I don't fancy you anymore. It was ridiculous. I mean, so many players got free passes under him. I don't care what people say. And I said, I said Conte looks less and less elite every single time Bissouma plays for Tottenham. Just saying.
Yeah.
Less and less.
I just, Look, we've got a bit of time, right? Because we're only 25 minutes in. I think we should. Oh, I'd love to do this. If we could, if we could get crowdsourcing together and create a documentary called The Inquest of Antonio Conte. And what it would be. Now, I'm actually being serious, because what it would be is the following. There were two sides to Antonio Conte's reign at Tottenham. There was the first season where, after the Burnley debacle, we then started to kick on. If you remember, I think that's right. We started to kick on. We lost like 2 in a row, if I remember rightly. I can't remember which games they were. We lost 2 in a row, and then we really went for it. And
was it the cup game in Burnley?
I can't.
Forest.
I can't remember, mate.
The Forest Cup game was awful.
That was last year, though. Wasn't that last season? I'm talking about the first. I'm talking about his first. So after he took over from Nuno.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Oh, God.
And I think whenever we mention Nuno, we have to say God bless him afterwards. So God bless him. After there was a period of time where he exploded at Burnley. He said what he said, and at the time, I'll tell you how I was feeling. I thought, oh, that's a bit odd. I don't really want him to walk out. But then part of me was saying, why has he done that? That's not right. That's not how you manage people. You know, you keep things in-house. But then I brushed it aside because it's Antonio Conte. That's the brand. You know, you don't want to tarnish that. You can't tarnish that brand. So I just dropped it. And it's great when things like this happen in your life, you then learn from them and you start thinking critically. It doesn't matter who it is. If someone does something wrong, it's wrong. That's a side point. So in that season, when we went on our rampage to 4th, and then we stuffed Arsenal, that game was outstanding. And we got to 4th. Then something terrible happened. And that's where the inquest is. Because for some reason, I don't know what happened. I mean, I've got some Italian mates. Spoke about Perchy last week. And what he said, as James always said it, is that he said, listen, this is just a warm-up season. Next season, you're going to see the real Antonio Conte. Because he does talk about himself in the third person quite a lot, apparently, in Italian. I didn't ever hear him do that in English. And can you imagine him doing that? Like saying to them, you know, you can play how you want. Let's stick to some philosophies. You can play how you want. But then next season, you're going to see how we're going to play. And that's believable to me because something doesn't make sense. Guys, do you remember some of the good football that we're playing? Do you remember when we went to Villa Park and we were destroyed in the first half? And then we cleaned them up in the second. And there were so many of these games in that 21-22 season, right?
Yeah.
But 22-23 was the worst football I have seen since following Spurs. The first game I ever saw live that I remember was the 87 Cup final. And and I lived through the 90s and I remember them very well. And that is the worst football I have ever seen, where I did not want to watch. I didn't want to watch the games. I didn't want to. I know you said it, and you were saying it on your stream. I didn't want to watch them. I wasn't enthused. Now I feel like that 15-year-old kid who was so happy when Jurgen Klinsmann signed. That's how I feel when I'm 44. And so this inquest needs to. I mean, I would love it if after some of them retire, when these players retire, if they come out and they say, you know, this is what happened. Yeah, I can imagine Crackers getting them on one of these one of these evenings. And they start talking about what actually happened. I would really look forward to that.
Oh, 100%. I'd love to hear some of the players saying what it was like. And did anyone catch Heung-min Son's interview?
Yeah.
He tried to... He
trying to be respectful.
But he tried to be respectful at the beginning. And at the end, he was saying, and he said, oh no, like different managers have different ways of playing, blah, 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 and all that lot. And he said, that's fine, I will do whatever it is for whatever manager, blah. And then at the end, he said, so do you enjoy playing this football? And he went, yeah, I love playing this football. And I said, it just said it all, didn't it? Like, that is a player that is sat there, he's been given the armband, and he's just gone, no, I need to play, I should be playing football.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, 100%. Ross, what do you think? What do you think happened between the Conte of the 21-22 season and the Pulicio, if you get that reference? I mean, Paul Muir from the Cheese Room calls him Parmesan Pulis, which I think is a great reference. A bit Brexit, but yeah. Well, so the Conte of the 22-23 season. What happened between those two?
wonder if all the players that we brought in on that summer, some of them wasn't his wanting. And this is where I'm impressed with Ange, because he's kind of taken over. We also have to turn on the human element as well. I mean, he lost the fitness coach quite early in the season. That seemed to take a bit of shine off him as well.
When do we know that happened? So we need some context here, right, though? Because apparently the players didn't know. Yeah, but apparently the players didn't know. Now, did he have? I don't know. Did he die of cancer? I don't actually know what he died of. But no. So
I can't remember off the top of my head. Am I right?
I feel like it was a heart attack, wasn't it?
No, it was something that he had previous, and Conte, as James said, knew about it. But I mean, it's not for Conte to say, and maybe out of respect, he just didn't mention it. But I think he also just fell out. I mean, he hasn't got another job yet, has he? No. So you do wonder if he's just fallen out of love with football for a bit, and unfortunately, we suffered so much for it because he just didn't look interested at all at any point of last season. Even apart from maybe the odd Champions League game. I mean, but even
really,
I mean, even the comeback against
in the Champions League last season.
Yeah, I mean the comeback win against Marseille that put us through. That was Stellini in a way. Yeah. Because I don't know where. I don't know.
But let's be honest though. Like, let's just be genuinely straight with the point on this. That was a Europa League quality group. Let's be honest. We just about scraped through. It was awful. I thought for any sort of context with it, I thought we were so poor in Europe last season, and we didn't. We bear in mind we didn't play one good team in that whole group in the whole run, by the way.
Yeah,
Milan got to the semi-finals.
Yeah.
Huh? Yeah, Milan may have got to the semi-finals, but let's be honest, like, they were awful in both games against us. Let's be frank and honest, they were awful against us, and we somehow lost 1-0 to them on aggregate.
I'll never forgive Conte for that second leg. The one at home, we drew 0-0. Oh,
yeah, that's what I mean. At home we drew 0-0, but he goes and subbed on a strike. He subbed off Kulusevski for a centre half. That made sense.
Anyway, I think that's enough talking about him. I think we're done. But by the way, Ventrone he died of leukemia apparently. So.
Oh, okay.
You know, but yeah, that's enough done. Let's talk about another Italian quickly, because it's there's a phrase where you don't know how good you've got it till it's gone, and Paratici seems to have brought in quite a few players that we're reaping the benefits of right now, right? And for the fact that the DOF position at the club has been so quiet throughout the last few months, maybe, I mean, he's knocking around somewhere in the halls of Hotspur Way, we know that. Maybe he's going to come back. And would you guys?
Coming back. He's back. He's still here.
Yeah, but I mean, as an official in the official capacity,
he was at the Brentford game.
He was at the United game.
He was at the United game and he was at the Brentford game.
Was he at the United game?
Yeah, he was. But
I had mates of mine got pictures with him.
Yeah, no, I know that, mate. But I've got friends who were at both games. I can't say that they work for Spurs. My point is that he's there as in a consultancy capacity. That's what the Athletic have said, right? But I wouldn't put it past our board, and I would do it as well. I would say, when we are clear to rehire you, and if that happens within this set time period, then we would like you back. And you just carry on cooking, doing whatever you're doing, and until that time period. And if that happens within this window, then we'll make the announcement. Would you guys care?
No. I find it hilarious that he's working for us on a consultancy basis.
A basency. I like basency.
Yeah, basencies, you know. I've got one in my bathroom. But I just it is so funny. I just got this idea that Levy just goes down to the car park underneath White Hart Lane, and out of the shadows comes Paratici, and he goes, "So what about Van der Ven? Blink twice for yes, once for no," and he gives him a wink. And then he pops upstairs to Ange and goes, let's do it. And I just want that image of this sketchy Paratici coming out with a
the long black coat with the fedora.
No, that's too Godfather-y. Like, do you know how I see it? Have you guys seen the Goonies?
Yeah.
He's the "Hey, you guys" guy in the basement.
Oh yeah.
That's who he is. He's down there, it's like, and whenever he sees Levy passing by, "Hey, you guys," but in an Italian accent, and it's like he slips him
He's a good-looking man
on a pizza. No, I'm not talking about looks, but it's just like he's there. They know he's there, but they try and keep him out of the way. Do you know what I mean? And so, probably they're putting Dombele down there. They're putting Dombele down there with him. Because he's been eating the ice cream. That's what's happened. Right, so
you just go, give him his cannelloni, please. He's just, oh my God.
Can you imagine? He's like slipping some pizza boxes with names on it under the door. And it's like, who's in? You imagine Van der Ven, who's in there? No, you can't go. And then he hears the screams. You can't go down to the basement, Mickey. Don't go down there. But yeah, I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind if he came back. I really wouldn't care. It's either way.
He seems to know what he's talking about. I mean, if you look at Romero, Kulusevski, Bentancur, I think Romero was his. Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
The only thing he got wrong during that period was the manager in Santos, but poor old Santos. He's doing really well in Saudi Arabia, I think.
Who's Santos, by the way? Is he the Basin person?
Oh, this is what happens. See,
I should stop being facetious. There you go. So
stop being facetious. But no, I just think it's really good that he's still there, and he is allowed to be there on a consultancy basis. So we're not doing anything wrong. Before people go, can't do that. I just hope it really boils the piss of a lot of opposition fans, because I think that's where we have to be now. We just have to. If for some reason we're hated by the media, we're not really loved by Sky for some weird reason. And I called it on Monday night that it felt like they spent like 20 seconds on us, and then they just looked at Man U's problems. But oh well, that's Gary Neville, bless him.
That's fine. I would rather stay under the radar, and I would like to going back to the philosophy, and we'll go on to Bournemouth. I would like us to continue with this underdog spirit, because I tell you what, Ange has been an underdog. Well, I can't even say underdog all his life, and he has taken that philosophy to the teams that he has managed, and he's first of all taken it to the coaching staff. As there was a podcast that I listened to where he was, I think he was in Australia or Japan at the time, and he said that the first people that he needs to bring on board are his coaching team, because once they buy into it, that's it, it's done. That's how he sees it. And so, yeah, there you go. Hey, you guys. Sorry, no, the listeners, but on time we've got a WhatsApp group, and Ross has been posting the Goonies. Is it Hulk? What's his name? I can't remember his name. The guy from the Goonies, the guy who's slightly
Sloth,
deformed.
I think.
Sloth, that's the one. Yeah. But it's this underdog approach, and I guarantee that he had told all the players the same thing. That what do people think of you? Do they think that we're going to achieve? Do they think that we're going to do anything? You watch after this Man U result. Who are they going to talk about? Us or them? Let them talk about them. Let us concentrate on us, and we don't care what other people think. And he probably got them to watch Rocky IV. I mean, that's the best film with regards to being an underdog. He probably didn't. I've just made that up. But it would, this is what I think that he does so well. He understands the psychology of humans, because he's lived it, he's experienced it. He knows what it means to come out on the other side fighting. And so as long as he can do that and have Sloth in the basement passing in pizza boxes with names on, then that's all that counts really at the end of the day. So let's talk about Bournemouth. What time is kickoff? It's early one, right?
12:30 UK time.
So 12:30 UK, 1:30 Spain? Nearly all of Spain, I don't know.
I will be in the UK actually.
Oh, really?
Next week. I go back to the UK on Thursday.
Oh, okay.
So I will be in the UK.
And 2:30 Cyprus time, because we've got quite a few Cypriots now who listen to this. Big up Cyprus Spurs. When you guys come over, we'll go to the meeting pub in Larnaca, and you can meet all the guys. And yeah, there'll be have some nice souvlaki and everything else that comes with it. And it's great atmosphere, especially in a big game. Really, really cool atmosphere. So, what are we going to do against Bournemouth? What do you think? None of us won the prediction, by the way.
I was the closest with 2-0.
Yeah, you get nothing.
I said 2-0 as well. No, I said 2-2.
You went Desmond again. You said it. I remember you saying it now.
Yeah, no.
So, what do you think is going to happen? Before we get to the actual predictions, Ross, over to you, mate.
I think because it's the early kickoff, a lot of teams I've noticed struggle with that. I don't know why. Maybe it's just timing and all that, and so. But I think if we can come out of that with just a crappy 1-0, 2-1 win, we're still heading in that right direction. But if the worst happens, and again, this fear of failure is what I'm talking about, it's okay. It's just 3 games in. We're going to be fine. So please don't panic. I think we've got enough against to beat them. I think we've got more than enough to beat them. It'll be interesting to see who he plays at right back. If he sticks with the more attacking Porro, if he goes back to the more defensive-minded Royale. But also wait and see. We'll wait and see. I mean, we might not have Maddison. So if Lo Celso stops sulking and plays, then... And that'll be a big test for him, especially in front of Ange. Because if he just sits there moping and he does play, that's going to be a bit of a, all right, off you go, chump.
And Perchy, what do you think, mate? And I'll tell you what I've just Googled in a minute.
I think we're going to be fine. I think it'll be a big test, though, for Celso, because it looks like Maddison's going to be out. Yeah.
What, do we know that? We know that for sure?
Well, from what Paul O'Keefe is saying, that it's not serious, but he may miss a game.
Paul O'Keefe is Daniel Levy, isn't he? He must be.
No.
Are you
Paul
sure?
O'Keefe's I know Paul Percy's a very lovely bloke. I love Paul. He's a very nice guy. He's a...
Can you get him on the show?
I could ask him. He doesn't do many podcasts.
I've never heard him. Just tell him that I've never seen him and Daniel Levy in the same room. I want to...
To be fair, I've never seen Paul.
No, nor have I. And I've never seen Daniel Levy in real life either, so...
Yeah. No, he's... Paul's a really nice guy. No, he's not related to... He doesn't do anything for Spurs, but he's in the circle, if that makes sense. He knows. But from what he's been told is that it's an MCL. So...
an MCL?
Yeah, I can't remember what it is.
Let's see. MCL injury.
Yeah.
It's great doing a podcast. Medial collateral ligament.
Yeah.
Oh, that's knee.
Yeah, it's the same with his knee, but he hasn't torn anything. It's like a sprain. So from what he's saying, that's what the scan is supposedly. I'll put that in air quotes. We haven't got anything official just yet. But he should be. But he won't be He won't be out for a very long time. It's more... If he doesn't play, it's more done on precautionary basis, if that makes sense. So we'll only know in due course. Obviously, the club haven't said anything yet, so we'll only know down the line. But if he doesn't play, Lo Celso's got a big job on his hand. He wants game time. From a lot of reports that are coming out last couple of days, that he wants to be playing more and more, which is fine, great. Now's your opportunity. Go and show it. If not, then if you're good enough. But listen, I'm intrigued, excited. Listen, I think Bournemouth are going to be one of those. They're not an easy team, especially away from home. They're not going to be easy. But I think we're good enough. I think we'll go out there and show them what it is, and we'll beat them. I honestly think we will. I'm going. Do you want predictions?
No, not yet. Your microphone started to do the snap, crackle, and pop thing again. I don't know why. So
I don't know why. I'm literally underneath the mic.
Maybe that's the reason.
Better now.
Too close to it. Yeah, better. So 2 things. First thing is I didn't know who the Bournemouth manager was, so I googled Bournemouth manager. And if all of you do this right now, the first result is new manager Andoni Iraola enjoys underdog mantle. What a bitch. So I didn't know who. I've never heard of him. The second point is that I feel really old because I'm older than him. He was born in June 1982. I'm from 79.
Ooh, he's exactly a week older than me. I'm June 29th, 1982.
All right. Did you get the same thing? The underdog search term showing up.
No, I got when he was confirmed as manager.
Oh, I just wrote Bournemouth manager, and that's what I got. So.
Oh, I put Bournemouth FC manager. Maybe that was the difference.
Oh yeah, that's what it is.
AFC Bournemouth.
Athletic Football Club.
Andoni.
I know nothing about him other than the fact.
He's the ex Bilbao right back, if I'm right in saying.
I don't really know anything about Bilbao other than that they're in Spain. And
Yeah,
did Llorente play for them? Llorente, did he play for them?
Fernando Llorente.
Yeah, didn't he play for them?
I mean,
Bilbao?
you've just picked a Spanish player and picked did he play for them?
No, because he played for us as well. But look, I did watch the game against Liverpool. I did catch that, and they played all right. I don't know. Did you guys?
Second half. I thought second half they got. Liverpool were on him in the second half.
Yeah, but it's Liverpool. I mean, this is Bournemouth, but they.
Yeah, Liverpool weird.
Yeah, they are. They're a bit, but they're a bit constantly, should I? But it's what? No. Sorry to anyone who's listening who suffers from bipolarism, but sorry. Yeah. So the thing that I didn't expect them to come out the traps the way they did. I'm talking about Bournemouth. You know, I didn't expect that, and they did. They played all right. I did expect him to lose. I did expect him to lose when Liverpool had a man sent off. That was a strange sending off. But if they're going to be open like that against us, I fear for their underdog mantle. I really do, because I'm just going to say it. I can see us smashing them. Absolutely smashing them. But Richarlison won't get a goal.
Oh, I was just about to say, I bet you Richarlison breaks his duck. And I'd love it if he did, because it's starting to, the whole kind of, I mean, I was joking around last week about the Scarlet stuff, but he will get used to this system, and it will bear the fruits of being able to wait around and all that. And all this stuff about, well, doesn't score enough. Well, he just got to keep trying, and that he just needs one off the backside, as the saying goes, and it'll all be fine.
Ducks worldwide aren't scared of your sentiment. I don't know. I think we should. Yeah, I think that we are going to give the guy some time. If you listen to some journalists on different pods, not just about Spurs, they say that Tottenham right now aren't interested in bringing a striker in, which is interesting. Apparently, there isn't sentiment for that. There are for other positions. So I don't know if that's a leak from Spurs, so that, because the last thing they want is any club who they go in, so if they go in for a player, that club knowing that they're in for him, and then they start driving up the price straight away. They'd rather not have that happen, because everyone knows we've got an X amount of, millions of euros. I don't know how much it is actually, depending on who you believe. If you believe Perchy, it's 120 million euros. If you believe some of the British press, it's 86 million euros. I don't know how much we got for Kane. I don't really care anymore. I did watch him though. Did you watch the game?
I didn't see his first league game.
Oh, I did. He was all right. He did set up the goal for Sane. Nice little pass that set him in. He did all right, but what I realised is it was a different Harry Kane, in that he was told, and I remember there was a manager, maybe I can't remember who it was, one of our managers, who wanted Kane to be further forward. Maybe it was Conte. But he was always the last man in that Bayern team, and it was interesting to see that he wasn't coming deep at all. Not at all was he coming deep. Every now and then he sort of did, but then it was like he realised he doesn't play for Tottenham anymore, and then you saw him quickly jogging up again. It was quite funny to see him do that, but enough about Kane. He's gone, right? He's not ours anymore.
Well, I hope he's been watching the training pictures, because he'll now see that Sonny's moved on from him to Romero. There's a bit of a bromance going on there. It's quite sweet.
Cool. Yeah, I saw that too. Perchy's all gone quiet. Perchy, you right, mate?
I'm here. No, I'm listening. I was just listening away. No, I didn't really care. Kane's gone. Who cares?
I know.
Move on.
Do you know what? I even tweeted that. You know, for a decade, I sung "He's One of Our Own," and he came to our academies. He is one of ours, and that's why it was like when I told my wife, "No, I don't want to watch it." She looked at me and she said, "Are you a kid?" And when she said that to me, I just thought, oh, she's right. She's absolutely right. she knows nothing about football. I mean, she can tell you anything about the game, but she was right. And so I watched it, and I shouldn't say this, but I sort of cheered a little bit when he scored. It wasn't a clean cut goal. I don't know if any of you've seen it. Probably have, but it was. Anyway, enough about him. Let's do the predictions then. So Bayern Munich's next game is against. I'm joking. So that wasn't funny. Against Bournemouth. Bournemouth versus Tottenham Hotspur. Association football match. Perchy, let's start with you. And I'm going to put these on our WhatsApp group. So we are keeping score. Perchy's still at the top of the league table.
League table of score predictions. I love that.
League table of score predictions.
Well, how are we doing? What is the point system? Is it 5 for getting a correct score and 2 for getting the correct result? Are we doing it like that?
Yeah, what did I say? I'm just trying to flick through here. Here we go. So the rules are 3 points for getting the score right, an extra 2 points for naming the scorer or scorers of the goals. Now, if you are listening, and there's quite a few people listening now, which is nice, then why don't you DM us and you can be part of the league table. Just send us in your prediction, and Perchy will give away a mystery T-shirt.
Oh, maybe.
I'll fund it. You can give it away. I'll tell you what. If you know who makes them, we'll get some Hotspur Way ones done. There you go. I'll get.
We'll sort out some Hotspur.
We'll have. I'll tell you what we will do. So we can't win them. I'll do some for us, but we'll have the first league table. Whoever's top at the league table by, let's say, 1st of January gets a T-shirt. And then whoever's top at the end of the season will get a T-shirt. So all you have to do is follow us at Twitter. So what is it? Hotspur Way.
Follow us at Twitter.
Follow us. Listen.
That works.
If a guy who owns cars can own Twitter, so by God, so can I. So follow us at Twitter. What is it? Is it at Hotspur Way Show? Is that what it is? I should know this. I really should know this, right?
Literally your account.
Yes. Well, not right. I've got my own. To be fair, I've got two. I've got a James Payton account, which is for work. And I've got a James Coy's one, which no one's interested in, and nor am I. And then we have profile. Yeah, so Hotspur Way Show on Twitter or X. And just DM us and say, I want to be in. This is my score prediction. Just send them to us every week. And if you win, you win. That'd be great. So what is your score prediction?
I'm going with... Oh, what am I going to go with? I'm going to go Tottenham Hotspur 3, Bournemouth 1. And I've got to name all 3 goal scorers.
You don't have to. So you're saying...
No. I think we're going to win 3-1. I think I'm going to go... Lo Celso gets a goal. I'm going to say Kulusevski gets a goal. And screw it, I'm going to say Richarlison scores a goal. Why not?
Oh, he's changed his mind.
Yeah, I have a little bit. I have changed it a little bit.
Cool. So you've gone 3-1. Just give me it. And Ross, what are you going with?
AFC Bournemouth 1, Tottenham Hotspur 2. And I think Son and Richie let me down last week, so I'm going to go with Son. And I am going to go for Bissouma.
1 minute. So I'm just writing all this down. This is great for the listeners. So you're going what? 2-1?
2-1 to Tottenham.
Why do you all think that Bournemouth are going to score?
Because I've just looked at their first game against West Ham, and they did all right. They got a draw, and West Ham just buried Chelsea. So I don't know, early season form, second game at home, they were unlucky against Liverpool. They might feel a bit, kind of, well, we should have done better. So they might just come out all guns blazing. So I've just got a funky feeling they might score, and then Ange will get them into the dressing room, scar them for life, and we'll come out and win.
And who's scoring for Spurs? in your 2-1 prediction?
Heung-min Son and Yves Bissouma.
What's that song about? Oh, it's the Bissouma song.
Oh, My Sharona, the actual song.
Oh, right, okay. And what do I think? What do I think is going to happen? I think that they will score, yes, but I think we're going to get 3. Maybe.
Hold on, isn't that the same as Perchy's?
Here we go.
Oh, all right, fair enough. We're not allowed, are we? There you go, 4. There you go. So I've said 4.
4?
4.
Wow.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I respect it.
I'm glad you do. So we've got Son. Who else plays for us?
else
We need a fullback.
That's helpful.
Do you think Porro is going to play? That's the thing. Is Porro going to play?
That's right. I don't know. Actually, I'm not sure.
I'm going to put.
Udogie will score.
I'm going to put him
down. What about
down.
Van de Ven? Get a centre back in.
Van de Ven, and I'm going to put. I'm going to say Perisic.
So you're saying all 4 scorers?
Yeah, because we don't really have a talisman anymore. Someone who's just at the top, whose job it is to put in the goal.
Don't need one
to score. Yeah, we don't. The way that we play. There you go. So that's on the group. So we'd love you guys to take part in this, and there's something for you to win, and it'll be a bit fun as well. We'll go over the results every week. I mean, when we get to thousands of you being a part of this, we'll just put it on the website, which is coming soon. But until then, we'll just announce like the top 4 or 5 or whatever. So that'd be fun. Now, before we go, I want to talk about Chelsea. How funny was that?
And their goal scorer's out for 6 to 8 weeks.
I did. The Caicedo reaction was brilliant, wasn't it? He literally got subbed on, gave away a foul, and then gave away a penalty. It was brilliant.
Somebody remarked that over £200 million, one of them missed a penalty, another one gave away a penalty.
Yeah.
Oh, that Enzo Fernandez penalty was dreadful. But they're just not a unit at the minute. They're just absolute trash, and I wish we were playing them.
Yeah.
But yeah, go on.
No, I was just going to say, I just said 4th of November, when Ange Postecoglou sacks Pochettino. I mean, it'll be a great little celebration at the stadium. It'll be hilarious. And I think I sit back and I look at the Chelsea thing, and the problem is it's all well and good buying all these players, but they're a bunch of players. They're not a team anymore. That's the issue. You can't. I always sit there. Whenever everyone wants to buy players and stuff. So we're going into a little different topic here, but when everyone wants to buy players and stuff, which is great, sometimes you sit back and go, you don't want to sign loads and loads of players. Chelsea's the example of it right now. I think they're going to be fine. By the way, I still think Chelsea are going to be absolutely fine down the line. But it takes, when you bring in that many players that quickly, do you know what I mean? It's just going to be crazy.
Oh. Do you think they're going to go mad before the end of the transfer window?
And what?
And
bring in who?
Well, they've been linked with another, I don't know if it's Brazilian, someone called Daniel Washington, which just sounds like an incredible...
He sounds like a porn star. Daniel Washington.
Well, the Chelsea porn star who...
Brazilian lad thing.
Oh, did anyone see the... She is a porn star, I don't care what she says. She's got that OnlyFans account, I don't know what her name, Astrid Wet or something.
Oh,
she was
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
she is
the most irritating person on social media ever. It annoys me because you know what annoys me is because she's so annoying. People comment on it and quote tweet it on Twitter, and it annoyingly comes on my feed. And it's annoying because on Twitter sometimes it has auto play on, so you're scrolling and it's just her shouting at a screen. I'm like, oh please, you're killing me here. Moving on.
Yeah. But no, it's just funny how they have their little meltdowns, the Chelsea lot, and they're like. And then their owner was going to splash another 100 million on someone, and
But you understand the problem with all of this with Chelsea. I mean, it's number one. It's weird. I'm looking this up now, and Pochettino started with a 3-4-2-1 formation. I've never seen him do that before. He did play through it. He did against Chelsea actually, which is ironic, when he played Son at left wing back. I think that was a 3-4-2-1 formation, wasn't it? That's a bit weird. But I don't really know. I would say 60% of their players. Like, I didn't even know Robert Sanchez, the Brighton keeper, had signed for them. I thought, who's that? I know him. I know him somewhere. I don't know. Like, I know who Thiago Silva is. He's up for a bus pass soon. Chilwell, fair enough. Fernandes, I don't understand that kind of money on him. And Sterling, that's their starting 11. The rest of them, and if you look at their bench, I wouldn't. I know Cucurella. That Mudryk is just I don't know. He looks a bit.
Little boy lost.
He's a bit of a dud. Madueke, by the way, he knows Pochettino well. He left because Pochettino wouldn't play him. Is that correct?
I think the issue at Chelsea is that, listen, I think they've signed some good. I think some of the players they've signed are all right. I think they've signed some talent, but the problem is when you sign that much talent that quickly and keep on doing it. Listen, they did this last summer. They did this in January. The problem what they've got is sometimes you just need to sit there and go, guys, look, what was Pochettino at Tottenham crucial in what he said? I like a small, trimmed down squad. He doesn't like managing teams with big squads. He didn't like. It's why he got rid of a load of Spurs players. And bear in mind, it was one of the biggest issues we had because we ended up having we had no depth at Tottenham. But now he's got abundance of players, but doesn't really know what to do with them. And we're only going to be able to find out and see how he gets on and what happens. But listen, screw them. It's Chelsea, right?
Yeah, I don't care. I mean, I don't think they're going to do well at all. Hopefully, I don't eat those words, but
unless after Christmas when Nkunku comes back, it clicks. But it's the whole way they've gone about the transfer market is just weird because they got rid of both their first team keepers, Mendy and Kepa. They brought in Sanchez, who wasn't even playing for Brighton. I think Steele was at the time. And a lot of the people they've brought in, I mean, I've never heard of Disassi before he scored on the opening day. And you kind of think, well, what are they going to do with all these players? Do they still have to sell? Because they've got Lukaku training with the under-21s, and it's just hilarious.
He's still there. Oh, I didn't know. But look at right now with the way that they've structured their payments, apparently FIFA were looking into it. Yeah, all right, whatever. But they've basically guaranteed for the next, I think it's 7 seasons. I believe it's £78 million is out of their transfer budget at the moment. That's what's leaving their transfer budget every season. Can you imagine if it doesn't work out? They're bankrupt. Can you imagine if they don't make Europe for a few seasons? Because they're owned by a hedge fund. If those of you who don't know what a hedge fund is, it's just a bunch of people who sometimes disclose who they properly are. Maybe most of it is trusts. Abramovich. And so what they do is they put a lot of money in, and then it's up to hedge fund managers to invest that money. That's how it works, right? And so Clearlake, which is the hedge fund, is partly owned by Bowley and by the Iranian-American guy. And so right now they're playing Football Manager with other people's money. And if it doesn't go well, then what will happen in a hedge fund is you might have some of the subscribers or the investors, as you want to call them. You might want to call them, actually it's a proper term, calling them investors, saying, I want to withdraw my funds. Now, it's not always easy, and there are some long-term positions which you need to have open, but you can, depends on what the case is, withdraw your money. And if it doesn't go well, if they don't make the Champions League this season, they're in trouble next season. And if they don't make it next season, great, fantastic. I'm all for it. I'm here. Amazing. So, that's that. We've done our score predictions. One thing I will say before we go is we really want to hear from you guys because we're getting quite a few listeners from all over the world. I can actually tell you from where a lot of the listeners are coming from, and it's I didn't think that this would be the case, but So we're getting quite a few from Sweden, which is really cool. And so I would like to shout out one of our listeners, Sverker Otterstrom. Sorry, I've completely butchered your name, mate. Who will be on, if not next week, the week after. So he was at the game, and there's quite a few listeners in Sweden, which is really, really interesting. So Netherlands is number one by a long way. 60% of our listeners are from the Netherlands. Do we appeal to people who like the certain herb? I mean, it's
the Van der Ven fanboys. We love them. Big up Mackie Van der Ven. Big up the Dutch. We love you.
All right, then we've got Australia, then the US, then England, and Japan is doing really well. I don't really know any Japan. I'm sure there's a sports club in Japan. I know there is, but I just don't know anyone from Japan. So that was interesting. So Sweden are there as well, and then we've got the rest of the countries. But we're doing really well, and we would love to hear from you. And so we will always let you know before the show starts, like we posted out on Facebook, Instagram, and on Twitter, to send us in your questions. And they can be any questions. Doesn't just have to be about football. Perchy is great at ironing shirts, and if you do want to know how to iron a shirt properly, you can ask him. Just DM us. It's that simple, and Perchy will tell you. He's got a really
stuff we can do.
And yeah, so that's the first thing. Second thing, let's do some more housekeeping. We would really love it if you could leave us a review on whatever platform you're listening to us on. It would really help. We've got a lot that we want to give and do on this show. There's a lot more coming. I promise you, there is a strategy in place, and we will be using Basuma accordingly and not leaving him out. And we have a lot that's coming, and so we want to grow this podcast. So there's a lot of Spurs podcasts out there at the moment, and we understand that, but I think that we're going to start to do things slightly differently over the next few months. And I've just said that, and the guys, even though I can't see their faces, are probably going, what is he talking about? You'll see. We'll talk about it. When the website's out, you will start to see what I'm talking about. I think, Perchy, you've seen the website, haven't you? You've seen the...
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's definitely the best Spurs podcast website out there in the world, 100%. But we need to get a lot more listeners in, and we'll up the content as well. And fun times. So that's it. We're going to be with you maybe on Monday instead of Tuesday. How does that sound? Because Tuesdays are a bit difficult with you, because you like to do the half and half scarf thing with your Arsenal mates. Perchy, apparently.
No, Tuesdays are fine. Tuesdays not a problem. Same time, same place.
Yeah.
Good.
So, yeah, maybe Monday or Tuesday. Well, probably Tuesday then. And we'll catch you then. So, it's been lovely. And we will see you later.
Awesome.
Are you good?